Hey guys, it's Caitlin, and I just thought that since a few weeks ago I shared my story about depression and how it had been affecting me, I would want to kind of share an update with that. I did start counseling a few weeks ago. There have been a lot of things that have been changed and are being implemented into my life. I'm not going to get into those today, maybe not at all. But one thing that I did kind of want to talk about, because I feel like it's applicable to this channel, is the fact that the very first session I had, I was assigned homework. Essentially, I was assigned the homework of reading for my mental health. So what she wanted me to do is she told me to go to the bookstore, go to the library, wherever, and pick up a book that just has like daily mantras, like a paragraph or a page for every day, and then every morning the first thing she wants me to do is open this book up, read a mantra, and then journal about it. Starting your day off with something positive and motivating, and then delving deeper into the text by writing about it, journaling about it, applying it to your own life and your own circumstances, and then writing it down so that you can kind of solidify it in your head. I was gonna go do it the next day, but then I just had like a meltdown that night because so I ended up having like this meltdown, and I was like, okay, the only way to make myself feel better is to buy books because I'm a booktuber. I ended up going to Target and I looked at their mantra books because I was trying to do things right. But if most of you have been around my channel long, you know that one, I'm an overachiever, and two, I'm an underachiever. So like I looked at the mantra books that I saw at Target and they were all just fucking dumb. I didn't get any mantra books, but I ended up getting 2 different books, and I have been doing my homework. I get up and I put in my contacts and I brush my teeth and stuff first, obviously. I can't read if I can't see. I sit down on my couch and I read one of the books and then I journal about it, and then I read the second book and then I journal about it, and then I finish getting ready for the day. The first book that I picked up is The Princess Saves Herself in This One by Amanda Lovelace. This is just a book of poetry. They're just very short poems. And some of them are like really deep and inspiring, and some of them are really depressing. And I just read 1 spread per day. I also got this at Target. And I've been doing pretty good about journaling so far. Like I've journaled every day. The top is always the poetry book. The bottom is always How to Be a Boss by Lily Singh. And I'm going to be completely honest, I did not know who Lily Singh was. I read the inside of this and it sounded like it could be helpful because she's dealt with depression in her past. I just read a chapter every day because each of her chapters is like a couple of pages long. I still haven't watched any of her YouTube videos. Initially, I was finding ways to compare like what was happening in the text of this one to the text in this one. This one's kind of taken a little bit of a darker turn, so I'm kind of not journaling about this one for the foreseeable future, but I am continuing to journal about this one. I gave myself an extra challenge, new challenge. Essentially, I told myself that based on the chapter that I read yesterday, from this day forward, I challenge myself to write down something I like about myself every morning. You start your day off positive and motivational, and then you think it through deeply, and you put it on paper so that it kind of resonates more deeply, and so that you don't just kind of think of it more passingly. You actually have to think about it in concrete enough details that you can write it down. And I've kind of been thinking about the role that books play in mental health. There are books like this and like this that are all about like helping you live your best life and be your best self. And there are books like this which are essentially written to make you feel kind of identified with, and for the author to kind of write their experiences out as a form of therapy. The way that all of this ties into mental health, not just with self-help books and with mantras and journaling for your own well-being, is the fact that personally for me, if I am depressed, I am not reading. Like I could try to read, but I'm not going to get anywhere if the subject matter gets too dark, or if something bad happens to like an animal or a kid in the story, it just affects me too much. I've just kind of come to realize over the last few weeks that books are more than just entertainment. They are more than just ways to kind of let you escape from the world, but they're also a way for you to like see yourself from a different angle or from a broader lens. Also about identifying with other people, experiencing situations you've never experienced before, emotions you've never felt, diseases you've never been exposed to. And I think that's why reading is so important, and I think that's why reading outside of your comfort zone is so important. This is my first poetry book. This is my first memoir, I think. This is my first self-help book as an adult. Reading outside of your comfort zone, I think, even if you're not going to too deeply analyze it, as long as you read it and try to read it intelligently, it can really make a difference, not just for your mental health, but for your awareness. And I think that that's something that we don't really think about or talk about maybe as much as we should. The impact that reading good books and reading diverse books and reading books outside of your comfort zone and that cover topics you've never experienced or cover things that you're really interested in learning more about can be good for you and can be life-changing. Even if you aren't in counseling, even if you're not depressed, just having a hard time, or, you know, even if you're just like everything's fine but you think things could be better, just pick up a book. It can be a self-help book, it can be a poetry book, it can be Harry Potter, and just read a little bit every day and journal about it. And journal about how it applies to your life, what lessons you can take from the text. Recommend it if you are interested.